Hey folks, welcome to Felis, Velos and our YouTube channel, and today we are going to be covering our latest race. We had myself as a rider on the B category racing in the EMU Japan race, and then we also had the rest of our racing team racing in C category as part of the Zwift Racing League. But in this video we'll cover and focus on the B race. For this race, it was actually my first time in the B category, so I was quite worried that I was gonna get dropped all the way from the very start. I just got promoted to B about a week ago after competing in the last Zwift Racing League race, which had a lot of climbs, and I think because I'm relatively skinny or low weight, and I pushed quite hard in the few first climbs, it pushed me above the C, which is where I was before. So just take a quick look at my power profile here ahead of the race. You can see that for 40 minutes, which is roughly what I expected this race to take, my power threshold is 220, and this is something I had in my mind when I was going to start the race. So here we have about 26 seconds to go, and we can see we have about 30 riders here in the race. It would grow a bit wider, and this was my first time in this track actually. I've never done this race before, so it was also a new discovery. And one thing that I didn't know is that this was gonna be a fully flat track, and then with just one climb, and that's where things got ugly for me. We can see here at the start, everyone's pushing, I think, relatively hard, I guess, for me at least. But I guess the peloton trying to enforce some separation to maybe some weaker riders all the way from the beginning, but things would settle down fairly quickly. And what we would see throughout this whole first flat segment was basically a few sections where some folks tried to attack and bring up the pace, and then that being reeled back quite successfully multiple times. So nobody really managed to get any separation throughout all of these flat section all the way until that climb that you can see towards the last quarter of the race.
So we're gonna zoom out here a little bit just to the first attack, so you can see the rider going out at the front of the pack there, and immediately you can see the power going up. So this one would get reeled in after a few minutes, so we'll just accelerate through that. And yeah, here you can see the group starting to come back together, but already went quite hard for me. You can see some 300 watt sections there, and so I'm already feeling it in the legs at this point. But there are gonna be many more attacks to come before we got to that hill segment that I was worried about. So here we're going to have another one. You can see one more rider there in purple going off at the front, and the pace picking up quite quickly to try to prevent that from happening. But it would actually succeed for a while as well before it all came back together one more time. And yeah, this would keep going on throughout the race, so we'll just fast forward here until later, and not to drag the clip out too long. But you will see several attacks here, several upticks in the pace, lots of watts for Cat B or for myself at least being put out. But all of these attacks that happened would all get reeled back in. And I think at the end, even though I wasn't there, it was probably a bunch sprint that decided the race. I will say for my first Cat B race, I thought I would get dropped after like 2 minutes. So I was already quite happy that, you know, almost 20 minutes in, I was still here with the front group. I think that was quite an accomplishment already, and hopefully with some more training, I can do better in the future. So yeah, we're coming now to that hill segment, and this was where it all unraveled for me. I just didn't have enough power to stay with the front group, even though I tried, but yeah, I couldn't push as hard as they did. So you will see that happening here pretty soon as we settle back to normal speed in the video. And yeah, here I could see, I mean, I realized that folks were pulling ahead, but I just didn't have it in my legs to stay with them. Couldn't even make too much of an attempt, I think. And yeah, I just knew that this was gonna be it. So I started looking back to who was behind me. And I saw there was quite a bit of time to that next rider. So yeah, it just became a little bit about trying to keep to that 26th position. Not a great position, but at least not lose anymore. Here you can see some riders catching up to me, and there's gonna be a bigger group now. I don't know who that was. They weren't part of the Cat B race. Maybe it was the Cat C front group. Maybe some proof that I should still be in Cat C. But yeah, it wasn't from our group. You can see here my position is still, you know, that about 24 now. I guess some people dropped. And yeah, now we're coming up into the finish line. So 2 minutes behind the leaders. But yeah, still happy. made it with the peloton for quite a bit of the race. Need to improve, I guess, my longevity so that I can resist those attacks.